What's going on? We're just going to wait to see if anybody hops in the next couple minutes, and then we'll get started. All right, let's just rock. I got fishing to do today, so I'm not going to wait for people to join. I'm just going to launch right into it, and let's have a good webinar. So happy Saturday. It's May 1st. It's about 10 in the morning, and we're here to talk about marketing yet again. I've been working my butt off for the last 2 or 3 weeks on this presentation. This presentation is for business owners, but I see that I'm attracting a lot of marketers, and that's totally okay with me. I want everybody, anyone and everyone, to know this, know this information, understand how to use it, and get the word out there. A few years ago, it kind of, through happenstance, became my mission to get more contractors showing up on Google and crowd out these lead reselling giants like Home Advisor and Angie's List. They've completely monopolized the front page of Google. They charge extremely high rates for these leads. Most of the leads are garbage because people, homeowners and stuff, don't realize that when they fill out this form and put their address and their phone number in there, that 6 different contractors are going to pay $80 for this lead. If they knew that, they certainly would not be filling out that form. And I know that to be true because I've been contacted by dozens of homeowners that said, thank you so much for putting this information out there. I had no idea what was happening when I put my info in, and now I'm going to go ahead and find my own contractor on Google, and I'm going to avoid these lead reselling middlemen companies. So that's my mission. Whether you're a marketer or a homeowner or a contractor or a business owner, whatever, learn from this info that I'm putting out there. Use the internet to your advantage and stop letting all these middlemen companies hog all the power. All right, so what is this video all about? This video is my practice round number 2 for this presentation that I'm putting together. So this time I have slides, and we're going to go through the slides. This is an incomplete project, so once we get to the end where I'm not finished with the slides, I'm just going to use video and wing it. Also, some of the slides aren't finished, so if you see something in brackets that says enter picture here or something, that's why. The purpose of these is just for me to practice, for you to give me feedback, ask me questions in real time if you are so inclined. If you don't have anything to say and you just want to take this information quietly from the corner and go use it somewhere, that's totally fine. A message to you marketers out there: look, I'm totally okay with you taking and learning from my content and repeating my message, but please don't just directly steal the stuff I'm saying. It's not going to work out for you because I speak from experience when I'm talking about this stuff, and people can feel that, especially when I'm doing a sales call. They can tell that I've done this stuff for myself, for others, that I know what I'm talking about. If you just try to take what I say and repeat it and pretend like it's your own, that's going to shine through and it's going to end up holding you back more in the long run. So I'm totally okay with you learning from me and taking my ideas and helping people with them. But, don't do it in the dark, in the shadows. Contact me. I'm happy to help you. There's plenty of customers to go around for all of us good marketers out here. And, like I said earlier, the mission is to get more real companies on the front page of Google so that companies like Home Advisor don't crowd everyone out and, ruin the internet like they are now. So the title of this video: how to get customers online without advertising or buying leads from companies like Home Advisor. Pretty interesting stuff if you're a business owner out there. We used to buy leads from Home Advisor, and so I've done this whole gambit. My goal for this video: by the end, you'll understand how to make customers come to you. No more chasing customers. You won't have to go leave flyers and mailboxes. I have a client that actually was doing that recently. You don't have to go door to door. And you don't have to buy leads from corporations like Home Advisor and Angie's List. What you're left with is a consistent flow of people contacting you to become your customer. That's what should be happening if you are correctly on Google. Why are you struggling? There's three main factors that affect the success level of you and your business. And missing one of these three factors can cause huge issues in the short, medium, and long term, eventually leaving you resentful and regretful about being in business for yourself. None of us want to be at that point. Some of you might be there already, but don't worry, you can claw your way out of the hole you're in. So the three parts are a professional image, a way for people to find you online, and the ability to say no to the wrong clients so that you can say yes to the right clients. If you're missing one of these three things, it's going to cause issues in your business in the long term or even the short term. So we'll start by talking about a professional image, what that is, how you can make sure that you have that, and the one question you can ask yourself to determine how professional your image really is. So most people have it backwards, especially when they first start in business. I know I did in the beginning. They say stuff like, oh, I'll make sure my company looks professional once I feel professional enough, and I'm not just, I'm not there yet. This is totally backwards. It's really similar to when people are like, I'm going to wait to take action until I feel really motivated, and then I'll take action. But that's backwards. You're not going to feel motivated until you start taking action. And to relay it to this, you're not going to feel truly professional until you look it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Exactly. You will feel professional after you look professional. Quit putting it off. So these slides aren't finished, but this is going to be like a picture of like a hillbilly guy or something. Just, a fly-by-night contractor that pulls up, doesn't have a truck, doesn't have, he reeks like booze and all that kind of stuff. If that guy showed up to your house, how would you feel? And then contrast that to another guy who pulls up in a truck with a vinyl wrap. He's got a branded shirt, a branded hat. He's smiling, he's clean, he's got his tool bags on, he's ready to go. Like, which guy are you going to hire? Are you going to hire Bob? Are you going to hire Tim? Obviously, you're going to hire Tim. So, when you show up to somebody's house and you see yourself through their eyes, would you hire you? Would you pay yourself to come in and work on your house just based off of your image alone? When you go up to someone's house, do you really feel like you're a professional? Are you proud when people see your appearance, when they see your truck, when they see your logo, when they see your website? Are you proud of that? Are you excited for people to visit your website? This is something that I witness all the time because we build websites for companies. People will say that they're embarrassed about it. They don't want people to actually go to their website, or maybe they don't even have one. I recently met a guy who his website's under construction, so he sends people to his LinkedIn profile. You're not really where you need to be until you're excited for people to go check out your website. That is a clear signal that it's professional. If you're not excited or proud of it, you've got issues you need to solve. So it starts with your logo. Your logo's everywhere. It's on your website. It's on your truck. It should be on your truck somewhere. It should be on your shirt, on your hat if you wear one, business cards. Your logo should be, it's the core of your branding. And you don't have, it doesn't mean you have to be like Nike and your brand has to be internationally recognized. It means when you show up somewhere and you show off your brand, you are proud of it. You look legit. When people look at you, they're like, okay, man, that person or that business owner or that company, they've paid attention to this detail and they have a professional logo. It makes a huge difference. This is our logo at Kyle Construction. We used to, I think I'll show you here in a minute, our old website, but this is a logo that we had made, I think in 2016 or 2017. And it has some meaning. So the Greek symbol that you see there is called sigma. And in whatever it's called, there's alpha, beta, and sigma, and there's like three types of people. You got your alpha people, you have your like leaders, your dominant ones, you have your followers, your betas, and then sigmas are kind of like they're like outliers, like lone wolf type people. And my dad and I are partners in this business, and we both kind of view ourselves as lone wolf type people. So we resonated with the sigma symbol. We relayed that to our graphic designer, and they produced this logo for us that looks professional. It looks like a window. It's boxy. It's kind of like a house. Either way, we liked it. We liked the way it looks. We were proud of it. But more importantly, once I showed it to my customers and they had said they like it, that's when I knew that it was going to work out. It really only matters what our customers think. I'm not too concerned about my own design choices. It's all about my customers. But we saw a noticeable increase in new people contacting us to become our customers after we got a professional logo. You can see me right now. I'm wearing our hat. We've got hats. We've got shirts. Super important when we show up to people's houses, when our employees show up, we're all wearing branded shirts and hats. It makes us look cohesive. It makes us look like a team. People are more able to trust us. So getting a professional logo, how do you do that? If you don't have one now, or if you have a logo that you just snagged online and it looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint, like whatever, how do you get one? There's tons of graphic designers around. You can find them online. You can find them in your local area. You want to talk about it with your team, with your customers even. You want to figure out some kind of guidance to give a graphic designer, like we did. We said we like the color blue. We resonate with this Greek symbol. Is there something you can do with it? And they came up with 3 options, and we chose one and went back and forth a few times until the graphic designer provided something that we liked. And then we showed other people and got a confirmation from them that they liked it as well. Before you talk to a graphic designer, also consider colors. You can Google it, do a search for color theory, look up some colors, whatever colors you like. There's 2 main factors here. Number one is your customers. You want your customers to like it, to resonate with it, to look at your logo like it's something professional, but also you need to resonate with it. You need to be proud of it when you show it to people, because that's going to transfer through all of your behavior, through the vibe that people get from you. They're going to be able to tell if you're proud of your image or not. I already talked about that. Yeah, always ask for the opinion of others. Don't just go off your own opinion. That's like a golden rule of marketing. You might think that you have something super great, or you might think that something really sucks, and the opposite will be true in your customers' eyes. So always get the opinion of other people. Once your logo's ready, it's been confirmed, then you can order your business cards, hats, shirts, etc. If you're not comfortable with this step, a graphic designer can take care of this as well. If you're so inclined, get some like a truck vinyl wrap or like a magnet or whatever. It's not super critical to have it on your truck, but when you pull up to somebody's house and they look out their front door and you're standing there with all your branded stuff, and they look out at your truck and they see a branded truck that's clean, that speaks very highly of you and your business. Just the first impression right away is really good. I have a graphic designer. Her name's Veronica. So if you need a graphic designer and you want one that's already been vetted by someone like me, she's available to do your logos. You don't want to skimp on this logo. You don't want to procrastinate and be like, I'll just make an okay one now and then I'll make a good one later. Just make a good one now. It's okay. It's completely normal for people to spend $500 or even $1,000 on a logo. This logo should last the duration of your business. That said, it doesn't have to cost $1,000. Like, just find a graphic designer and talk to them. The important part is that you end up with something that you and your customers like and something that you can be proud of. Your logo's everywhere. It's so critical that you have a professional looking logo. So where do people look to learn about your company? Obviously your website. And having a professional logo at the top of your website is critical. The first impression people get when they land on your site is they look at your logo. They look at the top left of the screen, they see the logo. This is a site, one of my most recent clients, simple logo. All it is words, but they're arranged in a way that makes it look professional. This website's crushing it. He got, I think he said 69 estimates in 22 days. That's over 6 times the busiest period that he had experienced before we built this website for him. Spartan Homes, this home builder, they get so many leads through their website that they've had to take a bunch of extra steps to qualify these leads before they even talk to them, because they don't have time to talk to everybody. And they saw a huge increase when they had a professional website built and a professional logo made. All right, so that's number 1, a professional image. How do you know if you have a professional image? Pay attention to the way that you and your employees feel about your company when you show up at someone's house. Are you proud of the way you guys look? Are you proud of your image? Are you proud of your website? If you aren't, then you need to do something about it, because that's going to affect everything else you do. Your sales will be a fraction of what they should be if you don't look professional. If you don't feel like you look professional. You can maybe look not professional, but if you really feel like you do, then you'll still get a significant amount of sales. The way that you feel about it is critically important. All right, so number 1, a professional image. Number 2 is a way for people to find you online. So in the good old days, you could just slap together a website and it would bring in customers no matter what it looked like. This was our experience at Kyle Construction back in 2008. The housing market crashed, and construction just came to a screeching halt in our area, and we had to do something about it. And we even spent a year, 2 years doing trash outs, which is where you go to foreclosed homes, you clean out all the garbage, you maintain them, you get them up to a standard level of cleanliness, and you maintain them for the banks. The banks were getting thousands of homes in our area for foreclosures, and people would just up and leave so much garbage. It was incredible. You wouldn't believe how much stuff people left. And we had our entire family and a few family friends working 50 hours a week. We were driving dump trucks around, clearing out garbage, mowing lawns, doing this kind of stuff. We did whatever we had to do. And one day, my uncle came over for dinner. He's always been super into the internet. He was like an early adopter. And he was telling us, hey, you guys should get a website. Hardly any contractors in this area have a website. And the internet's the future, man. No, he was right. The internet was the future, and here we are now in the future, and here I am talking about the internet still. So we were super hard up for customers, and my stepmom, she had some tech chops, and she decided to build a website for us. And so we got a website, and it was super ugly, in my opinion. But back in the day, back in 2008, this was what websites just looked like. You can see the date here's 2012, so that was updated a few times, but this is what it looked like. You can see we didn't really have a logo. Our logo was this picture of a house that we had built, and it worked so good. This website brought in so many customers when it was made, because we were one of the few people in our area that actually had a website. And so this was like a year after the iPhone came out. So people were searching online, but hardly any contractors had a website. And this is also back when we used Home Advisor, and Home Advisor worked really good because we were one of the few contractors using it. And so there just wasn't any competition. And that's why it worked. it worked because we were the only ones there. But over the years, more and more other construction companies in our area got built websites, and they looked newer because the technology for websites has advanced exponentially. So even if someone built one 2 years later in 2010, it looked so much better, and it probably showed up on mobile phones a lot better. Ours probably would have been really hard to read on a mobile phone. And so it didn't take more than a couple years before we started to get crowded out, and we didn't get nearly as many phone calls. It got to the point around 2015 that we didn't get any calls at all through our website. But we were sustained off of the momentum we had got before, just from those customers that we had, repeat business, and also referrals. But around 2018, my dad called me one day and said, "Hey, can you make our website work like it used to?" And at that time, I had already started Adapt Digital Solutions like a year or two before that. So this is the service that we offer people: is, hey, we'll build a website and we'll make sure that it brings in phone calls. And the funny thing is, nothing's really changed since 2008, except that there's a lot more websites. Like a lot more, like 1,000,000 times more websites now. But the principle's still the same. If you are the one that gets found on Google above all the other ones, then you're going to get phone calls just like we used to back in the day, because we were on top of Google. It just takes a lot more effort to do that now. It's just not as easy as it used to be. So there's like three main areas that you have to focus on now. In the old days, you could just slap together a website and boom, you'd be on top of Google because there was nobody else to show. But nowadays, there's these three factors: website content and technicals. This is like the technical code on your website and the content you have on it. Your site has to have text content about all of the services that you offer, or Google's just not going to show you, because Google understands text. And so if you tell Google that you do cabinet installs, but you don't tell Google that you build decks, they're not going to show you for people searching for decks. So you have to talk about everything that you want Google to show you for. The second thing is the Google My Business listing. So you can find this at google.com/business. This is your Google Maps listing. Google My Business is what they call like the branded. That's how they branded it, but it's Google Maps. If you're a local business and you want to be found by people in your local area, you must be on Google Maps. This is where all of our clients and our own businesses, this is where over probably 50 or 60% of the phone calls are coming from, straight from Google My Business. And it's tied directly into your website. Number 3 is non-website online factors. So this is things like social media accounts, online business directories, magazines if you're in them, like National Association websites, if you can get links from them. It's all the things that are online about your business that are not on your website or your Google Maps listing, Google My Business listing. And these three areas, these three aspects of online marketing, they are all tied together completely. You can't affect one without changing the others. You can, some people think that, it's like, oh, well, I just want to hire you to work on my Google My Business listing, but I don't want you to touch my website. We can't affect your GMB, your Google My Business, without changing things on your website. It's all tied together so closely that we just can't do it. And the main service we offer now is just getting people set up with these three main factors. If you have these three things set up correctly, then you will get phone calls through your website and through your Google Maps listing. 100% guaranteed. I've never seen it not work. The main factor of how many you get are how many people are searching in your area and what your competition is like. For most of you out there, there's probably almost zero competition that is doing all three of these things correctly. So if you do, then you're automatically going to be ahead of the pack and you're going to get the majority of the phone calls. And this whole thing, it's all about sending the right signals to Google. So let's see, let's go through each one of these a little bit. I've already kind of touched on them. Website content and technicals, that's the things that are actually on your website. The text content, the pictures, videos if you have them. Google My Business listing, that's Google Maps, and you can find it. You can get your listing by going to google.com/business. Non-website online factors, these are social media accounts. Citations, which are like online business listings. Any kind of other website that you can get to link to your website, that would be covered under here. And you need all three of these things to have a solid foundation in this stuff. If you're missing any one of these three things, then you're not going to get very good results. But I can't go super deep into these things because it would literally take me probably 2 weeks, 8 hours a day to explain everything I know about this. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and it's become second nature for me. People make entire careers out of this stuff, so it doesn't really make sense for me to try to teach you all of that. But all you have to remember is just that these three areas are what dictates how people find you on Google. And if any one of these three areas are messed up, you're not gonna have a very good time of it. What I'm going to offer you at the end of this video is a free strategy session, 30 minutes with me on a Zoom call, a video call, where I will take a look at these three areas for your business and help you figure out where you stand and what kind of opportunity lies in front of you. So we covered a professional image and we covered how to get people to find you online. What comes after that is like the secret sauce. The ability to say no to the wrong clients and yes to the right clients. Have you ever said yes to a client when you know you should have said no? I know I have. I've done it too many times to count, and it was all because when I first started out, it was really hard to say no to money. I needed money. I was desperate. But desperation is really bad for business because you end up taking projects that you probably shouldn't. You end up taking clients that you probably shouldn't, and they end up taking way too much time and resources from you, and they don't pay enough. So you end up spinning your wheels just to stay in the same spot. What happens though is you get to a certain point where you're able to say no to the wrong clients and yes to the right ones, and your business just takes off. This is where Lundy just was. This is where he just. Sorry, these slides are confusing me. Like I went through this stuff. Aaron Lundy, the landscaper, the website I showed you earlier, he just went through this. Once we fixed, these three things, and he started getting phone calls every single day and started producing multiple estimates every day, he finally felt comfortable saying no to people. And he started saying no, and all of a sudden his schedule is now filled with the right kind of clients that pay the right rates, and his business is just exploding. And that's not something you can really have until you have enough phone calls coming in that you have the option to say no. Because if you're not sure if you're going to have enough calls, then you're going to feel really uncomfortable saying no to anybody. It's almost like you got to take what you can get. You don't want to put yourself in that position. And if you're in that position now, you want to see how you can get out of it. I will have a clip soon where I had a conversation with Lundy on Zoom the other day, and he talked about this very thing, how gaining the ability to say no has been incredibly transformative for him and his business. The way that he feels about his appearance is also a huge factor in that. He talks about how even before him and I met, he was paying attention to this. He had a good logo, he had shirts and hats, he had vehicle decals and stuff like that. But his website was like the missing piece. And now that he's got a professional site. He's really excited for people to go check it out, and he sends tons of people to it, and he's had multiple people say that they went with him. They chose his company over others because of the website and his branding and his overall appearance. So that just goes to show you how important this stuff is. Now that's where the slides end. So I'll just finish this up by letting you know that if you think that you're lacking in any one of these areas, for a limited time, I'm available to help you figure that out. I look at dozens of these projects every month. I've worked on well over 100 of these types of projects. So I've seen a lot of things. I can very quickly and easily determine where you are right now after looking through your website, your Google listing, and talking to you. And I can help you determine what kind of opportunities you're missing out on right now because you don't have all these things properly in place. At that point, if it seems like it's a good fit and I think that we can help you with our services, I'll make a proposal for you for those. But either way, this 30-minute strategy session is a great opportunity for you to get some insights, to get like some other eyeballs on your business and your marketing and see what's going on, and get some recommendations on what you can do to improve things. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going fishing. But thanks for tuning in. If you're watching a replay, head over to Facebook and join our Facebook group, Foundational Marketers. There's a link here in the description. I've also made a foundational marketing mini course that actually goes into a bunch of the details about this stuff. So if you're interested in learning more of like the nuanced details, head over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, go watch those. There's 4 videos published. There's going to be 8 total. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend, and maybe I'll see you next weekend.